All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you again for joining us for another edition of Nutrition at Noon. My name is Emily. I'm one of Giant's in-store nutritionists. And today we're going to be talking about the top COVID-19 nutrition questions answered. So if this is your first time with us at Nutrition at Noon, our presentation today is going to be about 15 minutes. So first 10 minutes or so, I'm going to be giving you my best tips and strategies. We're going to end with a 5-minute live Q&A. So if you have any questions throughout the course of this presentation, please feel free to enter them in the Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen, and we'll answer them at the end. Also, please be assured that all mics and cameras are off. We can't see you or hear you, so no matter what you have going on in your homes, we are happy to have you with us today. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So as nutritionists, we get questions all the time about COVID-19 and nutrition and food and how everything going on intersects with food and nutrition. So I'm going to take a few minutes today to answer some of the top questions, hopefully give you some answers that you've been looking for. So let's start with question number 1. How can I stay healthy while grocery shopping? Or in other words, what is Giant doing to keep me healthy and safe during this pandemic? Well, if you've been to the grocery store in the last few weeks, you've undoubtedly seen many changes from probably what you're used to in a typical grocery shopping trip. You've probably seen the directional arrows on the ground, increased sanitation, there are wipes available to wipe down the carts, things like pin pads and self-checkout kiosks and conveyor belts are being sanitized. People are wearing face masks. There's a cap at the amount of people who are allowed in the store. And it's important to keep in mind that Giant is always monitoring the recommendations from public health officials and adjusting what's going on in the store as appropriate to keep the associates and the customers safe. There's also other routes of grocery shopping beyond just the traditional walking in the store. There's Giant Delivers and Pickup, more of a contactless way to get your groceries. It might even be the wave of new grocery shopping in the future. So something that I would recommend trying out. So once you have your food, the question is, can I get COVID-19 from food? This is one of our most frequently asked questions. Now, the FDA tells us that there is no association with transmission of COVID-19 from food or food packaging. However, this virus, like other viruses, can exist on objects or on surfaces. So it's still really important to make sure that you are taking proper precautions. So you may have heard from your family and friends that they're wiping down groceries, letting them air dry. And if that's an extra precaution that you want to take, certainly feel free to do so. But the best way to prevent the transmission is hand washing. So the CDC tells us that hand washing, it's going to do wonders in preventing transmission of COVID-19. It's recommended to use warm water and soap and really get a lather going for a good 20 seconds. And you want to hit every aspect of your hand. I'm talking between the nail, under the nails, between the fingers, front of your hands, back of your hands. And it's recommended that you wash your hands for that full 20 seconds. So 20 seconds is about the time it takes to sing happy birthday twice. So what I like to do is just think about 2 people in your life. It could be anybody, your family, friends, maybe people you work with or people that you know, friends of friends. Just think of 2 people that have any type of impact on your life and wish them a happy birthday, because we could all use a little bit of joy. All right, question number 3. Now that I have clean hands, how should I wash fresh produce? All right, Institute for Food Safety tells us that this is actually pretty simple. All you need to clean your produce is cold water. If you're washing something that has more of a resilient skin, something like a potato or a carrot or an apple, you can use one of those bristled scrub brushes like you see in the picture there, really making sure that you get all that dirt off and that the food is clean for you to eat. It is really important to make sure that I mention that you do not use bleach or any other cleaning solutions when you're washing your produce, because these items can get into your food and cause you to get sick. All right, question number 4. What do I do if I can't find my favorite meat or protein item in the grocery store? Now, I actually love this question because the answer is kind of fun. This leads you to trying something new. There are so many high quality and delicious sources of protein available in the grocery store beyond your traditional meat. So, first of all, seafood. I personally always have a bag of frozen salmon or cod, maybe frozen shrimp in my freezer. They last for quite a long time in there and they don't take very long to make. They're really high quality seafood or protein, and you can do a lot with them. If you're looking for some inspiration for recipes or how to cook it, you can check out our blog, and I'm going to give you more information on that at the end of this. Now, dairy, things like milk or Greek yogurt, this is also really high in protein. And so this is actually a great way to get some protein in the morning specifically. Now, tofu and edamame, both of these are soy-based forms of protein. Now, tofu specifically, I hear people kind of shy away from, maybe because they think it might be bland or the texture is a little weird or they don't really know how to cook it. So I'm going to give you a little bit of inspiration coming up about what to do with tofu because I think it's pretty good. Lentils are another great source of protein. These are also really high in fiber, so they keep you feeling full. Lentil soup is one of my favorite meals. It's an excellent meatless meal. Peanut butter, of course, you can spread on apples or on bread. And then you see those Beyond Burgers there. There are so many soy and pea-based meat alternatives in the grocery store these days. And you can actually swap them into your favorite recipes just like they were meat because they have a similar texture and flavor. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a heads up. If you try any of these options in place of your favorite meat, you're going to be well on your way to succeeding with the Week 4 Healthy at Home Challenge, but tune in on Monday for more information on that. All right, so I told you I'm going to give you some inspiration about tofu. I think it's pretty underrated. This is a recipe I found on Savory's online magazine. It's grilled tofu with summer squash salad. This is perfect for when the weather's getting warmer, Memorial Day weekend's coming up, people are firing up their grills, and you get this bright, fiber-filled squash salad to go with it. You don't have a grill, no worries. You can get a very, very similar product in your oven or on your stovetop. And this is another kind of meatless, high protein snack that I really enjoy. It's edamame hummus. You just take some frozen edamame, combine it with some lemon juice, some olive oil, throw all of that in a food processor, and you pair it with some carrots and celery or pita to dip. It makes a really high protein and high fiber snack. Okay, so question number 5. I'm limiting my weekly grocery store runs. I think many people are doing that, maybe only going once or twice a week. What produce can I buy that will last? All right, so let's start talking first about fresh produce. So things that have a very high water content, like berries or leafy greens, those are the foods that are going to go bad the fastest. So you may want to plan to use those items in the beginning of the week, maybe just a couple of days after you get back from the grocery store. Now, items like onions, apples, carrots, potatoes, you see bell peppers, butternut squash, these are those hardier produce, and this is going to last for much longer. So you can plan to leave these until the end of the week. Maybe if you're only going grocery shopping once every 2 weeks, you can be assured that these items are going to last you the longest. And for more information on how to make your fresh produce last longer, you can check out my colleague Mandy's Nutrition at Noon on that topic, available on our YouTube page. But let's not forget that frozen and canned produce count as well. They all count towards our daily fruit and vegetable intake. They all give us that fiber and those nutrients we're looking for. And let's face it, frozen and canned produce last a whole lot longer in our freezer or in our cabinets. They might even last up for months. So you can really rely on these items to give you good quality nutrition and last you for a really long time. But if you are focusing on that fresh produce, make sure you have a plan. This is a theme that you've probably heard in many of our Nutrition at Noon segments, having a plan to make sure you're using the foods that you bring home from the grocery store. So first of all, having a plan, of course, it helps to prevent and reduce that food waste. You know that you're going to use the items at a specific day, so they're not sitting in there with no goal. A plan also helps to keep your grocery store runs focused and directed. I think now more than ever, we're all trying to get in and out of the grocery store as fast as possible. So we don't want to be wandering around trying to figure out what we want. Having a plan lets us get in, get what we want. Having a plan is also very budget friendly. Remember, the most expensive food in your refrigerator or cabinet is the one that you throw away. So give every dollar a purpose and make sure you have a plan for what to do with them. All right, question number 6. How can I stay healthy while staying at home? This is a really big question, one we hear all the time. Our lifestyles have been turned on their head, so how do we stay healthy? All right, well, when we're thinking about being healthy at home, you want to think about both physical wellness and mental wellness. When it comes to physical wellness, of course, you want to eat balanced and keep moving. Now, you can rely on us as the Giant Nutritionist team to help you with the tools to eat balanced. We have a variety of resources for you. I'm going to get to those at the end. In terms of keeping moving, try to make an effort to maybe stretch between meetings during the day, go for a 10-minute walk in the afternoon, any little thing that you can fit in to just keep your blood pumping and raise your heart rate a little. In terms of mental wellness, you want to make sure that you're staying connected. Because we're all at home, it might be a little stressful or isolating. We're not seeing our family and friends as frequently as we're used to, perhaps. So staying connected, whether it be on the phone or via Zoom, however works best for you, is very important. And making sure that you're taking time for yourself. If you have a habit or a hobby or something that you love doing that brings you joy, make sure you're finding time to include it in your day. Okay, if you're anything like me, you probably feel like COVID-19 and all of the things that come along with it is all anyone's talking about. And it can be a little bit stressful. And I recognize that I just gave you a ton of information in the past 10 minutes or so. So I want to end this Nutrition at Noon on a high note, on a relaxing note. So we're going to practice a little bit of a breathing technique called 4-7-8. It's breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 7, and breathing out for 8. So let's do 2 breaths together. I'll count for you all. So everybody sit back in your chair and we'll breathe in 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that you got the hang of it, let's do one more. In 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I've mentioned many times in this presentation that we have resources to help you stay healthy at home and help you look for inspiration. So you can connect with us at giantfood.com/nutrition. You can meet with one of us nutritionists for a one-on-one personalized virtual consultation. We also have lots of online classes, webinars, just like this daily Nutrition at Noon webinar. We have our blog to give you some inspiring recipes. Remember, I mentioned that seafood inspiration. And you can check out our Nutrition Made Easy podcast for a whole bunch more inspiration. And you can join our May Healthy at Home Challenge. We're already in week 3, hard to believe, but our challenges for this week are to add a whole grain to your diet and try an online fitness class. And you can share your success with us online by tagging us at @GiantFood and using the hashtags #HealthyAtHome and #GiantFoodChallenge. And here are some examples of some of our favorite posts from this week. You can see an array of exercise and whole grains being incorporated in the diets. Here are some more examples of some of our favorite posts. We love seeing what you guys are doing, so please, please share with us. All right, we have just a few minutes left, so I'm going to take a look, see what questions we have. All right. First question we have is what other considerations do you take in mind when buying canned produce? So like I said, canned produce can be a really great way to get that fiber, get those nutrients, get that produce in your diet. I'd say in terms of consideration, check out the sodium, look for the lower sodium varieties. If you're buying something like black beans or other type of beans, you can actually rinse them off under water to get some of that extra sodium taken off. And if you're looking for even more information, you can check out my colleague Tu's Nutrition at Noon on this very topic, fresh, frozen, or canned, on our YouTube page. Okay, I have another question. Which aisle is Nature's Promise tofu located? You can actually find it right in it's kind of in the, sort of near the produce section. It sort of depends by the store, but you can find it kind of in that refrigerated section up near the produce. All right, next question we have here is what other examples of meatless meals can we consider if we can't find our favorite meats? So hopefully I've given you some inspiration on this. I know that some items that I didn't mention would be things like hard-boiled eggs, or just eggs in general. They make a great breakfast, of course. You can scramble them. You can buy them already boiled for you, make egg salad or put on toast. And then another protein source that I love, of course, beans, something we talk about all the time. They're also filled with fiber, so they keep you feeling full. You can make them into black bean burgers or make them into tacos. They're really versatile. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining me for another great edition of Nutrition at Noon, and we will see you back here tomorrow.